most common item at the top of a bucket list is often a destination outside the country. These are some pictures of some of the most desired places that people seem to want to travel to. So there's Australia and Greece, Spain and Italy, and Costa Rica and South Africa. Most students don't realize the multiple benefits of studying abroad other than seeing a place that they've always wished of seeing. After doing a lot of research, I myself have become interested in the idea of studying abroad for the experience. Although some may worry about the cost, it is important to create a mandatory study abroad program so that college students can get out and make important connections with others and themselves in order to better their futures. I'm going to talk about the problems with our society when it comes to the readiness for their future and a solution that makes things better. First, I'm going to talk about a few problems that college students deal with when it comes to finding a job. The main problem has to do with students not having the developed skills needed for the workplace. According to Salingo's article, Why Are So Many College Students Failing to Gain Job Skills Before Graduation?, a study was conducted across 169 different universities, and it was found that 40% of college seniors fail to graduate college with the needed skills for the workplace. So the skills that are severely lacked are often include problem-solving skills, decision-making, and the ability to prioritize tasks. This picture shows some stats on employers giving low ratings to college students on different readiness categories. So some of the categories include working with others in teams, being innovative, and the awareness of diverse cultures outside of the U.S. So this graph shows that students, which are the light blue, believe that they are more prepared for the future than employers actually see them being, which employers with dark blue. Another issue is that students aren't diverse enough. So I am going to show you guys a couple pictures, and on the back of your praise polish cards you guys can just write down the answers, but you will have 5 to 10 seconds to write down the country that each landmark is from. So this is number 1. 2. 3. 4. 6 is the last one. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the answers, and I want you guys to keep track of how many you got right. So number 1 is from India. 2 is from Mexico or Belize. They're both correct. 3 is Ireland. 4 is Italy. 5 is Peru. And then 6 is England. So how many of you got every single one of those correct? And that's just proof that we as students aren't diverse enough. Being able to communicate with just about anybody is an important skill to have when it comes to looking for a job. According to an article, 10 Reasons Why You Should Study in a Foreign Country, quote, only 4% of U.S. undergraduates ever study abroad, unquote. Since students hardly take the advantage of studying abroad, it is important, or since they're not taking advantage of studying abroad, they aren't developing the skills that are required when it comes to finding a job in order to further their career. Overall, students are graduating with the skills that are important when it comes to finding a job to further your career. With the lack of communication, decision-making, and creativeness, college graduates are unprepared for the workplace, and it makes pursuing a career that much more difficult. After looking at a few major problems with graduate skills when it comes to employability, let's now look at a solution to solve these problems. Creating a mandatory study abroad program will solve these issues. Currently, one of the main requirements to graduate college, aside from things regarding your major, are your liberal arts core classes. So these core classes are forced into your schedule so that it can create better citizens out of the students at UNI. With the mandatory study abroad program, students are required to take time overseas to further their education. The amount of time overseas can vary up to 6 months, but all students must participate in order to graduate college and receive their wanted degree. So creating a mandatory study abroad program will help solve these previous issues because of the benefits that it has on personal development of skills. One important thing to look at is the cost of studying abroad. Some may worry that the price of studying abroad is excessive, but let's look at it this way. College is one big investment, and people take it on in order to find a job in the field of their dreams. And studying abroad is just addition to this investment that adds a lot of positives. So say that it costs $10,000 to study abroad, but it would eventually pay itself off. For example, if you get a job 6 months sooner, or you get paid $1,000 more a year because of your better qualifications, seems to be well worth it. Some may question if this plan would actually work, and after my research, I can say yes. Europe has successfully implemented a gap year in order to allow their students to travel abroad between their high school and college years. According to the American Gap Association, quote, a gap year is defined as a period of time when students can take a break from formal education in order to increase their self-awareness, learn from different cultures, and experiment with possible careers, unquote. Europe's gap year has been successful, as shown through the boost in performance at the universities, and therefore we should copy this success. The benefits that come out of studying abroad are undeniable. Employability would be increased dramatically for students. According to an email sent to all UNI students from Jay Phillips, quote, over 90% of employers believe that students who study abroad are likely to possess desirable skills that directly impact their employability, unquote. Studying abroad enhances employment opportunities because it shows that you are self-motivated, independent, and willing to embrace challenges. Personal development skills are also enhanced through studying abroad. According to the article, Widening the Gap, it was found that 88% of responses of a survey believe that a well-structured gap year could help furnish graduates with the soft skills needed that they often lack when they leave a university. Skills that are often gained through studying abroad include innovativeness, ability to communicate with others, and decision-making skills. Overall, in order to get students prepared for their future, it is important to create a mandatory study abroad program so that the important skills are developed. Colleges should be doing everything possible to prepare the best graduates, and not only because it makes their college look better, but because it creates more quality workers that the society can benefit as a whole. If study abroad isn't made mandatory, then students will be less prepared for their future, and the companies would suffer as a whole. Now that we've looked into the clear reasons on why we should create a mandatory study abroad program, let's look at everything as a whole. Overall, there are multiple problems with how students are entering the workforce, with a lack of personal development and a lack of diversity. In order to fix these problems, it is important to create a mandatory study abroad program so that all college graduates can have the appropriate skills needed for their future. And now is where you sit back and think about yourself and the kind of employee you want to be in your future. Thinking about doing a semester abroad? Listen to Nike and just do it. It'll be worth it.